Hello everyone, welcome to this unit where we'll look at inputs. So in this lesson we're going to focus on seeing how we can get values from a user. So inputs are just simple user given values. So the computer will prompt you, or will prompt the user, will ask the user to enter values, so through the keyboard. All right, so this input, you can get them or prompts like the Python or wherever you write this function input. So the function with, of course, brackets in front. So this function is used to get values from users. So here the syntax is as follows. Here you have a variable which is equals to input enter value. So when you write like this, what it will do is it will display this message here inside. So this message which is inside to the user. So if you were to add a comma, what it will display is this, like this, with a comma or with a colon. So it will display that to the user, and then you have a cursor blinking in front showing that it wants to get user values. All right, so inputs, that's how you get inputs from the user. Now we looked at functions, which we mentioned that we're going to look further into them, which is int function. We also had string function and float function. So these functions, the int function is used for converting string values to integers. So this function, when you use it, so here the syntax, the way we have a variable numeric value is equivalent to int, then we have input enter value. So this one will prompt you to enter a value which is an integer. So if you enter any string value, it will result into an error. It will display an error to say you have entered a wrong type of data type. So similarly here with the function float, so similarly with the function float is used in the same way to force the user to enter numeric values. So not specifically decimals, you can enter an int and then it will display a floating value, and then you also enter generally even decimal numbers, then it will display a floating value. And then of course we also have the str, which is a short term for string. So string function, this string function is used to get values, to restrict to string values. So user input it will be restricted to string values. If you enter an integer, of course an integer is a string, so it will not do anything. So a float as well, it can be a string, so it won't do anything. But with this one, for example, float, it will force you to enter an int or a floating value. So that is it with input. So we have function input, then you can write a string value, and then make sure that you have quotation marks when you write a sentence. You can use it plain. So in this case, using it plain, what I mean, you can write direct like that. So what it will do, it will prompt you, but it will not write any message. So it will prompt you without writing a message, and then you will enter the value, and then voila. So by default, the values, when it is like this, by default the values are in string values. So by default it is in string values. Oh, so that is it with input. I think this marks the end of the module. We'll see in the next module we're going to look at numbers, mathematical functions, and also comments. So see you in the next